Billy Wen, dude. LeChonk's in the chat. They're actually already here in the draft, so we'll do the fade out the music. That was more of a just turn off the music. And looks like we're going to get straight into the draft. I was thinking maybe a little bit more of a gap in the introduction there, but away we go. Hill Country, pick for Geo. Ocean Ring immediately for Miniyeti. What's your favourite map, Bomber? Shalom Pritz. How are we doing? Sahara and Mediterranean. That was very fast picks. I've actually opened my own drafts. Let's get rid of that one because they're on the ball. Do a quick little tag for that, just in case. Oh, Miniyeti's already on it. I don't need to help him out. Miniyeti will stomp. I mean, Miniyeti is the higher seeded player, but IamJeo has been playing some pretty solid games himself. Geo's he's much more of an AOE2 player. He's very experienced in AOE2, and he's just been trying his hand at RTR for pretty much the first time. And yeah, today I'm actually going to be casting 3 series in a row. I'll try to put them all in the title. I'll hopefully update it. So to start off with, we've got Miniyeti versus Geo, and then let me just double check so I'm not saying wrong. After that, we're going to have Red Lash versus Sky, and we're going to finish off with Vertex versus Unstoppable Streletsy. So I think this is going to be a fairly long stream today. Hopefully you guys stick around for a few of the games. The Sky versus Red Lash game should be quite interesting as well. But yeah, it's interesting to see how strong Geo is. Okay, both Shang picks. Minno's picked by Miniyeti. Often you want to go for Latvia here, but we've got Ocean Ring, Mediterranean, so Minoans holding much more higher priority for Miniyeti here. I think, yes, I've been saying in a few of the other streams, but since the new patch came out, the Hittites were kind of like the second best civ on water maps, but they've been a little bit nerfed now, so they're not as strong. Well, my predictions, I think Yeti probably will win this series, but I think Geo is going to put a pretty good fight up. I wouldn't be surprised if Geo takes a game, and maybe even 2 games. It's gone for Latvia and Yamato. Yamato a nice civ for pretty much any map. Sumerian's picked, and that's another thing on the new patch with how strong stone throwers are. Sumerian's quite nice. I was saying that I was going to say on the more closed maps, but we don't actually have a closed map here, so it's maybe a little bit surprising. Hittites as well for Miniyeti, and again, not quite as strong, but maybe just a second water civ, just so he has 2 here with Yamato gone. Persians these days is a pretty decent water civ with the faster firing scout ships now. That bonus obviously used to just apply to the triremes. I might just give you. I was going to type it in the chat, but I can't be bothered. Egyptians for Geo. Interesting. I'm not really sure where Geo is planning to use that. Again, Egyptians is more of a Bronze Age civ chosen. That's like not as often picked because it's more of just an early game aggro civ. Normally, I think the Persians are a little bit stronger than the chosen, also the Carthaginians. So we have, again, the Phoenicians weren't picked, which is one of my favoured picks. And the Romans also slipped through the gaps here. But Geo getting the very nice Shang and Latvia combination. But Shang Minnow is also pretty good, like I said, when we've got the water maps in the pool. When Minnow, I think, just declare best civ at the moment on the water maps. And let me just see. Hopefully they're going to get the lobby set up pretty quickly for us. I actually need to get AOE2 Rex up so I can see. And let's have a look. So yeah, they're just deciding what server to play on, doing the classic sharing of the pings. They go for the UK West server by the looks of it. I think Geo, I think he's from Finland. Miniyeti, I think Miniyeti is French, but I think he lives in America. Need your wading boots. Is that from your RuneScape wading boots? Let me have a look. See. Oh, clicked on the wrong tab. I've lost the game now. There we go. So the server has been decided. The lobby is open. And we'll get straight into game one. What's my favourite thing about toast? That it's pretty easy to make. To put bread in, just put your sliced bread in toast and just push the button down, don't you? Easy peasy. Next question. Anyone here like bread? As we're bringing the big discussions here to the AOE2, AOE1, I should say, community. And as per usual, for those that are not in the know, Highland is the first map, and then the loser picks from the pool of maps. Normally the loser will pick their home maps, but you are allowed to pick any of the maps in the pool. But like I said, the first map is always Highland. So it'll be interesting. Let's have a look, see. We might just see the Shang Mirror. That's not an uncommon sight, but also Shang Lakviat is also pretty common. Again, I'm a little bit surprised by the Sumerian pick here. I'm not entirely sure where the plan to use that is. So it depends if it comes to it or not, if you're forced to use it. Fried bread. I'm not so big of a fried bread fan myself. I used to like it when I was younger, and I went off for a bit as I got older. I think me, Chief. And yep, we're just waiting for them to launch the lobby. And then we can get straight into the first game. And like I said, I think Geo put up a pretty good fight against Vertex. That series went 3-2. And we have seeded Miniyeti a bit higher than Vertex, but I think they were pretty close though. Let me just check what their seedings were. Yeah, Vertex we've got a seed 9, and Miniyeti we have a seed 8. So we'll see how Geo manages to get on here, because Geo is actually seeded 25th, but I think he's probably a little bit stronger than what we gave him initial credit for. We're just, seeing how strong a player he actually is on RTR. And the game is up. Let's see if they put any delay on it. Nope, straight in the game. And it is the Shang Mirror match on the first map on Highland. Just get us onto the... Let me get my correct windows open so I can actually see what's going on. Got too many screens to sort out. Here we go. So, again, yep, Shang Mirror. We've got a little bit not so great with the colours. I think I can do a thing where I just change the colours. My brain, how do I do that? There is a way of like rotating the colours, but because the yellow and the orange might be a little bit difficult to tell apart. Maybe I won't worry about that too much, but hopefully that's not too doesn't make that too hard for you guys to see what's going on. So like I said, Miniyeti is 8th and it was 25th for Geo. The seeds. And do we see any moves for the central? In fact, already Miniyeti's already grabbed those central elephants in the sort of when we're just speeding through the first couple of minutes. But looks like Geo got 3 for himself, so both players in a pretty handy position to start with. And in fact, has Yeti already gathered his 2 nearby elephants? Maybe they were both at the back there, like I said. I guess I was like a minute or so late to the start of the game, so didn't quite see the early shenanigans. And there wasn't any deaths, so there wasn't any villager losses or anything. Idle TC time exactly the same on 6. Nice storage pit for Miniyeti on his wood here, right next to that gazelle. And Geo choosing to push his gazelle in, sort of into the area. That might be a little bit awkward for the Gazelle here. It might get a little bit spooked. It's probably a good job he missed that one, actually. And Artifact, I think Geo may have... Okay, so he didn't actually see the base, but he obviously knows that he lost the artifact. So Geo might have a decent idea of where Yeti's TC is. In fact, it looks like Yeti did the same thing. And yeah, he can see the Gazelle there. So they should actually know. Well, Yeti should definitely know where Geo is, and Geo should have a decent idea of where Yeti is. So this might make aggro play a bit more interesting. 19 Vils up for Geo and 20 for Yeti. So Geo is going to get up first, but the barracks is at home for both players. So like I said, despite them seemingly having a good idea of where each other are, nobody's actually going for the offensive. He actually sees his forward berries there, but it might be a little bit risky to go for that. Still 2 more elephants for Miniyeti hunt from. And just has the 1 more there for Geo. House wall sort of going up for the time being. And Geo just put now, in fact, both players getting the clubbers out. But again, neither player going too aggressive here. Both players playing pretty safe. Let's have a look at the maps here. In fact, yeah, he has a pretty nice map to quite easily wall up here. It's like he's walled most of the front. He only really has this section here. Saying that, Geo is also a very nice, tight map. So, yeah, maybe this turns into a bit of a more defensive game. Miniyeti going with the tool working upgrade first, unless he got the armor upgrade and I missed it. Where is his clubber? There it is. No, so he doesn't have the armor in. And Geo, I didn't see any of his upgrades coming in either. Okay, Geo's just swapping straight into the archers. And in fact, Yeti going for the scouts here. Early clubber. It's not going to do too much damage. It's probably just going to get killed, yeah, by the bow here. But the scouts and slings into the bows. It does have the archery range as well, though. So all the buildings available for Yeti. Is it just 1 archery range? Yeah, just 1 archery range for Geo. He's getting woodworking straight away as well, and tool working. Only 2 scouts in the end. Maybe literally just to get some vision going. But does Geo? Like I said, I feel like Geo should know. I mean, he should have had a good idea that trail stopping there is probably where the base is. And maybe just right-clicked and the villagers started walking around there before the wall came in. He's going to start attacking the house now. Yeah, he deletes a house there. Is he just going to replace that with a wall? Just replaces it with another house. And the scouts are going to come in the back here and they have both upgrades. So this is going to be a little awkward for Geo. Might see a couple of villagers going down here, as Geo's still pretty open. And yeah, they've got the armor upgrade in, so the villagers haven't been able to do some damage, but pretty minimal. And I think another villager's going to get caught out here saying that. Yeah, he may be focusing on somewhere else on the map because he's not controlling these scouts to the highest effect. These scouts should be really able to pretty easily deal with the bows here, sorry. As they do have bonus damage. I don't know why Yeti's not just attacking it. I think he's maybe just getting the market up, maybe just sorting out his eco at home, but he's going to get handled pretty easy. But this has actually given Geo the chance to get his own scouts out. And I think, yeah, he's sort of missed the opportunity to get a bit more damage in than he otherwise, yeah, to get more damage than he did do. Yeah, he's only got 1 eco kill with these 2 scouts. Nice little garrison in the TC by Geo there. Let's have a look. Villager numbers actually favours Geo here slightly. Even with the 1 lost villager. And scout numbers increasing for Yeti, so he did actually start pumping those again. He's deleted that house again. That house has been deleted twice to let things through. Decent sized army here. No AXA in though, so the scouts aren't really under any immediate threat other than the fact that they're slightly outnumbered. Because again, the clubbers do not get the bonus against cavalry, it's only the axes that do. And he's sticking to the scouts, which is maybe the reason why it's had a little... Saying that, the idle TC time is pretty similar, so Geo, I feel like, must have killed a couple of villagers himself for it to be this even. Idle time still creeping up for Miniyeti though. Like I said, these scouts cost 100 food each, which makes it pretty hard on your eco. I think Yeti can just take this fight. Like I said, the clubbers not having any armor upgrade, and he should just be able to kill the bows here with the scouts. I'm not really sure why Yeti's being so hesitant. Geo's actually getting the advantage of this small little hill here, giving the hill advantage. And I think Yeti should pretty handily take this fight. Yeah. It's interesting that he's sort of only half doing the slingers. He does have more villagers on the stone. But like I said, I think that engagement went in Yeti's favour. But again, he's been a little bit hesitant with the engagers, I would say. And again, Geo's still slightly ahead on the villager count. Not really properly walled. It's actually open there. I think... Okay, that house does block it off. That's a little bit weird. But the space here, and obviously the houses, are pretty easy to fight through. Defensive tower on the stone. But I wouldn't say... Okay, that's actually maybe... I was going to say it wasn't under immediate threat, but we've actually got incoming army here. Scouts trying to do a raid. Tower not going to quite be up in time, but there is some defensive units. Might want to try and small wall here. Tuck the villagers in. Not quite quick enough, it's still open. Oh no, is it? Okay, so the villager goes down. Tower doesn't go up though, gets denied. Scouts might need to be pulled back, although, again, there is this gap here, and it looks like, yeah, he's cottoned on to that. So Geo going to get an unfortunate surprise here. A small gate goes up behind those houses to defend that. But here we come with the scouts, and this could be pretty devastating. Let's see if he can do more damage here. Geo reacts pretty fast, though. Nice response. There are a few bows, but again, scouts can pretty handily deal with the bows. And he's just going to try and deal with the bows for the time being. These scouts get in, though. Miniyeti just GG's out. Was there a hole? I guess, yeah, it was just a hole there. And, yeah, he just didn't have anything in defense. Wow, that game just came to a really abrupt end. I'm a little bit stunned there. Yeah, he just fumbling it there, and I guess I don't know why it's on fast forward. I do. Yeah, just scouts just slipping in the gap there when the house goes down. I mean, this small gate only had 40 HP on it anyway. And yeah, I think, yeah, maybe like, yeah, when he had the scouts in here, a couple of scouts really early on, he probably could have got a little bit more damage done, but maybe he was just being harassed at his base. Maybe I didn't see that. And tower not going up quite quick enough. A little bit unfortunate for him. And yeah, Geo takes the Shang mirror. And yeah, he's pretty solid on his eco. I think I question maybe when he was going for scouts, why he bothered going with the archery range as well. He sort of just like, yeah, I mean, both players sort of had the spread of buildings, but at the time he just built the archery range and didn't really use it much. He was sort of committed to the scouts. So maybe that was one thing I could call out, but yeah, that just hole in the wall there, just unfortunate. And okay, let's get us into the next game. And I think they'll probably sort it out pretty quickly. Let's go back to the draft. So, Geo takes game one with the Shang, and it is actually going to be the Ocean Ring chosen by Miniyeti as one of his home maps. And hello to everyone that's joined. Since I was casting, I've sort of focusing on the game, so I've not been following the chat as much. So yeah, cool to see you all. And yeah, they already have the lobby set up and ready to go, so I think we'll be able to get us into game 2 pretty quickly. Ocean Ring is definitely one of the more tricky maps, and I'm not sure how well Geo knows it. Miniyeti does have the Minoans as part of his draft. I'm casting 3 games today, Billy, but I'm sure you won't want to stick something around for some of the other games because you're very selective. But yeah, I don't know if he saves maybe Hittite. You've got to think it's Hittite Minnow for the water maps. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see which civ he does choose. It's probably going to be Yamato as Geo civs. He doesn't really have another water civ here. Maybe Geo should have picked like the Persians himself, or maybe the Phoenicians. They're both decent on water maps as well. Persians with their faster firing scout ship line, and the Phoenicians just with their faster wood gathering bonus, making them decent there. So yeah, you could argue that Geo's. I question the Egyptians a little bit. I think that's my biggest question mark here. I think the Egyptians, it can be pretty strong on the more closed maps, but I think potentially this Egyptian should have maybe, like I said, been a Persians or Phoenicians pick. And hopefully AOE2 Rex isn't just bugging out on me, because I feel like they probably should have launched the game by now. Oh, they remade the lobby, I think. Maybe there was just a little error with the settings. But yeah, that's, like I said, a little bit surprising finish. That game, I thought the game was going to sort of lead into a long tool war, and it just ended like just very, very suddenly with Geo. Well, I guess yeah, just leaving that space in the wall open. Okay, the game has launched now, so I'll get us into that game. No spectator delay again, so I'll actually go straight to capture age. And so it is going to be the Hittite for Miniyeti, so he's going to save Minnow for Mediterranean. And Geo's on the Chosen, which, and I guess maybe Geo. Oh no, I've got the wrong way around. Map's been paused. Don't know if it's just a re. Let me check. The typing. Geo's just saying sec. Let's just ask for a pause real quick. So I think we are going to carry on. It's just Geo just sorting something out. Had to check how much dock costs. Oh dear. Oh dear me. Yeah, so a dock's 100 wood for anyone that doesn't know. Minnows get the 20% discount, but they're not in this game. I think I do prefer Hittite on this map and saving the minnows for Mediterranean, because on this map you have like it's more of like choke points through these things, like the outer ring of the sea. And when you have that more of a choke point, it's a lot easier to take advantages of the Hittites +1 range bonus, or +2 when you get to bronze. And both players going with a more standard start here of just taking the elephant. I've seen some players, they sort of build the granary first on the berries by default. But the sort of more meta play here is to just grab the elephants that are always near your town centre, and then yeah, build a storage pit and get that wood going. And it's very wide. In fact, Yeti's woods, it's like one of his woods is right in the corner there. Yeah, normally it's a bit more like this, and like a bit like Geo's setup here, which makes it sort of a little bit easier to set up some like defensive walls. But Miniyeti's very open at the front of his base. We'll see if that hurts him. And yeah, one of the big factors of this is trying to move out of your own area at the start here, because obviously this area will run out of resources fairly quickly, and there's an abundance of resources in the central ring here. That's what your elephants, and obviously the central sea. If you want to dock that up, there's usually a decent amount of fish in there as well. So yeah, there's a lot of ways this map can be played, but what the usual approach is you want to still get to the tool age reasonably quick and get those scout ships coming out, because if you lose that water pressure early on, you often get trapped on your island, and that's when you eventually just get stuck there without any resources left. So it's a constant thing of balance of trying to get control of the water as well as wanting to expand out onto the middle of the ring. So there's a lot of things to think about on this map, and I think it's definitely one of the more challenging strategic maps that we have in the new map pool. So much talk. I mean, that's what I'm here to do, is talk. I mean, you can spectate the game by yourself if you want to. You don't need to come on the stream. You can just go on AOE2 Rex and spectate the game yourself. Storage pit now going up for Geo after his dock. Alright, okay. I thought you were giving a compliment, fair enough. This didn't sound like a compliment, is all I'm saying. And yeah, fishing obviously works for people that don't know, it's the fastest source of food. Everything else in AOE1 is basically the same. And we do have a villager coming forward from Geo, which sort of makes sense. In fact, let's have a look. 21 vils for Geo, so he's 1 vil behind. There's quite a lot of idle villager time. No, he's 1 vil ahead, sorry. There's quite a lot of idle time from Yeti. Geo got onto the water a bit earlier. Maybe that just gave him that extra bit of food eco. But let's have a look. 45%. And yeah, he's not massively far behind. And in fact, Yeti already going for some defensive clubbers. So maybe he was smelling. In fact, the villagers catch each other out here. And Yeti maybe should have just kept fighting that. Oh, he's bringing the clubber in. Okay, that makes sense. And yeah, I think the only way Yeti really loses this is if Geo got some sort. Yeah, he's going for the barracks still, but this is not going to go up. So that barracks is going to get denied. And yeah, Geo just deletes it. And the clubber is faster than the villager, so this villager is just going to go down. But yeah, the big advantage of the Chosen, obviously, is they get the cheaper storage checks, and their axes and infantry at the barracks get extra health. And it looks like Geo was trying to leverage that, but Miniyeti more than ready to try and stop those shenanigans. Double barracks now, so Geo's going to commit to this. But you can see Yeti's already going for the water. So unless Geo can really get some sort of push going quickly, I think he's going to be in problems. Like I said, the scout ships will end up pinning you into your own base eventually. Still no scout ships and only 1 dock for Geo. Granary going up on the berries now, a little bit close to the CC, so not leaving. I mean, it's fine. It is, you can put a farm there and farm there if the game comes to that far. First scout ships out, and woodworking already coming in for Miniyeti though. And another granary on the forward berries, but Miniyeti's going to spot the forward barracks, and he's going to see both of them. And you can see that Geo's commit to clubbers here. Be interesting to see is this archery range. I was going to say bowman maybe in response, just to fend off. But yeah, again, the scout ships coming out. Only a couple at the moment. He does have the 2 docks. But this might start harassing Geo's wood lines here. Geo still only on the 1 dock. No scout ships, just going for those storage pit techs to get the clubbers in. So attack in and armor coming in now. He has the food for Axa upgrade, but he's a little bit behind in the queue. I think maybe he would cancel a couple of those clubbers and just get the Axa upgrade in. So you get the extra health and extra +2 attack. And Geo just trying to find Yeti's base at the moment. And slightly missed it. He sort of figured it out though. But here we go. The scout ships He's already sat on the crossing here. And second archery range. No, oh, Bronze Age actually. I was going to say no bows, and that's because he spent all his food on the Bronze Age tech. Scout ship is just probably going to fend this off though. And yeah, you can already see a villager down, and I think, yeah, Geo's just gone with the all-land push, but like I said, Yeti was more than ready for this. No archers still coming out yet. I'd probably like to see maybe just like 3 or 4 bows to help deal with this. Another forward barracks. Geo just going for the all-in play. He knows. I think he knows it's just an all or nothing. And again, maybe you got to question the Civ picks. Maybe Geo should have gone for another water Civ, or maybe just, yeah, I don't know. Maybe, like I said, this is one of the more difficult maps to play. Maybe he's just not used to it. And maybe you just thought sack off Chosen as one of his weaker civs and just play for the other games. Still no bows out of Yeti. I guess he just thinks the scout ships are more than enough to deal with this for the moment, which is probably the correct call. You can see he's pumping from 4 barracks now, 2 right in the face. The scout ship here could be harassing the wood line. He doesn't actually see the wood line there, saying that. Bronze Age and Geo just GG's out. That's funny that maybe, I was going to say maybe the Bronze Age had, Bronze Age had just come in. No, it didn't come in. I think, yeah, Geo just knows the jig's up. And yeah, like I said, you kind of do have to contest the water on this map. And I think as soon as that first villager got caught out and killed, you've got to maybe give up on the barracks, because like if it doesn't come in straight away, it's just so easy to wall this up. And Geo didn't even have to make bows in the end. Sorry, Yeti didn't have to make bows in the end. He just had enough scout ships, and he knew that it was going to be a little bit too difficult. Again, maybe Geo just maybe not 100% sure what the way to go is, and again maybe just dug himself a little bit hole in the Civ draft by not really giving himself a second water Civ to play with here. But there we go, 1-1. And another fairly quick game in the end. F1 team radio quality. Alright. How far am I just shouting too loud? Sorry. So it's a win for the Hittite and a loss for the Chosen. I think it's just occasionally I shout and it like peaks the mic a bit. I'll try to quiet it down a bit. And yep, so it's now Geo's turn to pick map. Oh, okay. It was just design said about the pop filter, so I wasn't. Maybe it's my peaking the mic a bit. So yeah, I could probably get like a little thing on my microphone, just try and help that a bit. So Geo has Hill Country and Sahara. Again, he can pick Mediterranean if he wants to. I think Geo probably feels a bit more comfortable just on the pure land maps, which is maybe why he's gone for Hill Country and Sahara. Like, in fact, yeah, when I was playing my games, I tended to avoid the hybrid maps just because my early games not as strong on those. I've still kind of not figured out the timings of when you want to get your docks down and stuff like that. And Ocean Ring is just a very challenging map in general. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's just Hill Country and then maybe just Latvia just to try and push home an advantage. In fact, the game's already started. And the map is indeed Hill Country. And where's my capture age? Oh, I've not closed the last game. I sometimes forget to do that. Just give me a sec. I'll go back to this screen to try and hide my incompetence momentarily. And we'll now get the actual game up. And we'll get capture age going. So it is Hill Country, and it is indeed the Latvia for Geo. And he goes for the central village elephant straight away. Grabs those very nicely. Now he gets a third one as well for his troubles. Ooh, drops aggro. Not too big of a deal. Yeti on Karth. And I have said Karth were a very strong DE civ with the extra 50 starting resources of each type. I think they're not quite as strong in RTR as they were in DE, as the tool ages tend to drag on a little bit longer in RTR, with the unit counters and stuff being a bit more relevant now. And so I feel like those early resource bonuses aren't quite as impactful as they used to be. The Latvia berry bonus feels a lot stronger, and their other bonuses are the faster creating military. Where am I from? I'm from England. My surname's Holland, which is, I think, is why Pombear's joking about that. My last name. I mean, there was the 2v2 tournament, so this is the second tournament. In fact, this is technically the third tournament, because there was the Dawn of Ages tournament as well, although that was just like an invitational tournament with some of the big names in the AOE community. But yes. Okay. Sorry, I got a little bit distracted there. So yeah, storage pit next to the zebra there for Miniyeti, so pretty nice for him. Looks like Geo's going to go for the lure hit. Well, push, I should say. Classic Billy, always the Joker. My accent is a little bit weird. I think my accent is slightly strange just because I'm from the south of England, but I moved to northern England when I was quite young, so my accent's kind of like a confusion of a few different accents. Classic Billy singers, man. Yeah, true. Anyway, sorry to focus on the game. Looks like Geo is going to be the first to click up, obviously with the Latvia berry bonus. That's always quite strong, only 16 seconds idle time. And Karth normally have a pretty good click as well. Like I said, they start with the 50 extra food. But it's going to be quite a bit of idle time for Miniyeti here, clicking quite a bit later. So, that's, yeah, basically a villager's advantage as soon as they both hit tool. Defensive barracks again from Geo. I've noticed it a lot lately that a lot of players are going for the defensive barracks instead of the forward one. As I say that, Miniyeti trying to go for some shenanigans. Barracks on top of the hill there. We'll see how well this turns out, just because clubbers are already on the way for Geo, and Geo's going to be to the tool age quicker. And clubbers into slings could be good for Yeti though, if Geo does just do a classic sort of couple of axes into Bowman with the Latvia. Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, he does still have a couple of elephants, but I'm saying that Geo's got loads of food under his TC, so he's not going to be worrying about that anytime soon. Forward barracks does get spotted, and it is a second barracks, so this looks like it might be just some axes into the slings. Is this an archery range? Okay. So, if Miniyeti does, let's see what he does with this. Maybe if he does slick the extra 50 stone is very useful for slingers for Karth, that's why, and in fact, yeah, he's got a single villager on the stone. So I think it is going to be some slings here. And again, that was another of the reasons Karth was so good in DE, is just like, you don't have to go onto the stone as soon, and you can get quite a lot of slingers out. 3v3 for the clubbers. Let's see what upgrades we've got in there. Just the attack. Attack upgrade coming in now. And Axelo. So Axer upgrade's actually going to be a bit stronger than the attack upgrade because you get the extra HP from the Axer upgrade. Triple barracks. So all in on the slingers here. He probably wants to get another, maybe another villager on stone. And hopefully get the market up pretty quickly to get that stone mining upgrade in. And so yeah, these bows going to be reasonably easily dealt with by the slingers. Yeah, doing quite a nice job of just trying to get his slingers to attack. Saying that, Geo doing a good job of making more axes. Okay, yes, adding him now. I think he's just housed. So it's going to be a little bit of a tussle, a little bit of back and forth. The slingers much less effective against the axes in RTRs. They have the extra pierce armor. So again, yeah, he's going to want that market to get the stone mining upgrade pretty pronto if he wants this push to be successful. And Geo's still making axes, which is the correct call here, to back up his bows. So if he can get those axes to deal with the slingers, like I said, though, it's just a granary. I think if I was Yeti, I'd be looking to try and drop the market down. He's still on 21 vils. Geo's still pumping. So this attack has to work. These slingers need to stay alive, though. Axes from Geo being used to good effect to take out those slingers, meaning the bows from Geo can take out the axes. And yeah, again, I think storage pit just for the elephant. Again, I think Yeti just needs to get that stone mining upgrade for this to push to really work, because he's going for the all-in play. I think Geo, he's on 30 vils now. He's just been continuously pumping eco, and yeah, the forward gets dealt with, and yeah, so Geo at a huge advantage now. Like I said, just those extra axes added in by Geo worked wonders there. Like I said, with the 1 pierce armor, and slings only do 2 damage, so they're only doing 1 damage to the axer. With the stone mining, and you're effectively doing double damage to axes. And the market, still not market. Barracks at home. Not entirely sure what that's about. Double barracks at home. I'm a little bit confused by the play here, unless he just wants slings at home. Maybe he just thinks that Geo's going to push in. A few more axes from Yeti, but those are just going to get swept up by the bows. And Geo, with his 34 vil advantage, he's full farm eco pretty much. And he's going to be able to just probably, maybe like idle a bit onto military production for a bit. And just go for the full-on eco approach. Probably get himself to bronze pretty quick. Stone mining only just coming in now. Where even is his market? Can't see it, so it's here. But, yeah, slingers in defense. Geo going to look for... I mean, he should know where the base is there. He sees a house. I guess maybe just trying to flank around the side here. This villager might spot it, though. There is still a gap there. No walls for Yeti still, even though he's got the stone for it. Villager's going to get caught out here. I think maybe he was going for these berries. But this is looking pretty bad for Miniyeti here, both behind massively, 14 villagers behind, and now only a third of the military as well. Another barracks, that's his 6th barracks of the game. It does have, like I said, it has the stone mining upgrade. I think there's still no woodworking for Geo, so the slingers are going to be very effective at dealing with the bows here, as they have the same range. Scout now from Geo, maybe just to try and deal with those slings. They're just trying to fight that off. There's no armor upgrade on the scout, but still manages to win out there. House goes down, like I said, no walls, but there is a decent slinger mass here, and so as long as he deals with these axes, he should be able to deal with this pretty straightforward. And Geo's of 42 villagers now. Going scouts is going to prevent him from going up to the Bronze Age here. But yeah, only 21 vils for Yeti. Defensive tower now. But yeah, Yeti is like wide open at the back here. His map is a little bit unfortunate. I mean, to be honest, he's open everywhere at the moment. So this tower only sort of going to be minimally effective. Yeah, like I said, he does have enough of a slinger mass, and now with stone mining he can deal with his axes. But again, just the eco advantage is probably almost insurmountable here. I'm a little bit surprised. I guess, yeah, it's just because he's gone in the scouts and just scouts 100 food each, so expensive. I think scouts are actually a little bit of a waste of resources here. I get that he's going scouts to deal with the slingers, but this, like, 1 or 2 scouts isn't enough. Like, they still go down pretty quickly. Their damage isn't that high. Tower is going to be quite useful here. Or not. As the bows just walk on through. But yeah, it has enough slingers to deal with this. So, okay, the scout does have the armor upgraded now, but doesn't have much, that one doesn't have much health left, so the villagers should be able to just deal with that. Yeah, just pinched for resources. Kind of just has a bit too much wood at the moment. Like I said, he's wide open everywhere. I think Geo, I mean, oh, there we go. I was going to say he just needs to work his way up to the Bronze Age, and he is nearly there on the food now. Needs 800 food to get to Bronze, obviously. But you could argue Geo is sort of throwing away a lot of his current advantage on these, like, scouts and military, but he's still so far ahead on eco that it probably doesn't matter at this point. Bronze Age is clicked. Still 4 scouts in the centre. And what's going to be the unit of choice? He's switching on to gold. Maybe it's just going to be cavalry on Bronze Age just to push it home. 2 stables go down from Miniyeti. So, not exactly sure what the plan is there. Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, there's no real attempt to, like, wall up the base, but again, it's going to be very difficult to even do that. And he's still just trying to get the eco going, but still 21 villagers behind. Gold mining upgrading in, woodworking finally coming. Maybe a little bit late for the woodworking from Geo there. But yeah, still in a very solid position. Quite nice pit there for the gold. And I suspect it will just be the instant cavalry villager picked off there. Scouts in the base as well. And the Yeti is actually going to try to wall off here at the front now. Don't know if there's... Oh, I think that tree's... Yeah, that's fine. Again, I'm a little bit confused by these. He's built 2 scouts. I don't think... He doesn't have the scout armor. But yeah, still open at the back here. And it is just cavalry for Geo. Just try and punch it home. Probably should try and get wheel as well. Hopefully he remembers to do that. But I think, to be honest, this game is about to be over. Yeti just so far behind on the eco, and I think the lack of stone mining for the slingers prevented that early push from going in. Like, he built that storage pit out in the middle there just for that elephant, and GG's called. So 2-1 to Geo. Solid defense there. It was good of him to not be stubborn and just keep making bows. He did continually make the axemen to deal with his slingers there. And that's one of the main reasons why I think Calf's not as strong anymore in RTR, is because their main strength in D was just how good their slinger rush was. But like, obviously all-in slingers doesn't really work anymore with the extra pierce armor on the axes. And yeah, in the end, a pretty convincing win for Geo. You've got to say, it's basically as soon as this forward failed, the game pretty much was decided there. The rest was like just a little back and forth of units. That's how many has out in play. This top left number is how many's in queue. The bottom right numbers is how many he has. So he doesn't have any, well, unless he said that a while ago. So like, yeah, so he has 4 cavalry, 3 cavalry in queue, and these 3 dots mean he's building from 3 stables. Just to explain that for the viewers. But yeah, game 4 next. Yeti on the back foot. So yeah, Geo put himself out there, showing what he's got. Let's go back to the draft real quick. Yeti does have minnows left for his home lap though, so I think you've got to favour him. And yeah, Latvia obviously a very strong civ. So probably going to be Mediterranean. That was picked. Hill countries played. So Mediterranean's probably going to be next. So going to be minnows there. I guess probably Yamato is going to be the choice from Geo. So Yamato is still a pretty solid water civ with faster working fishing ships and extra HP on all their ships as well. But I think you've got to favour the minnows in this matchup. Yeah, Geo's a very strong player. Like I said, he's very good in AOE2. He's just sort of been learning AOE 1 RTR as he goes along. And the more he learns, the stronger he gets. So I think Geo might be the sort of dark horse of the tournament. And let's have a look at what we're doing. Has the game started yet? Nope, not yet. The lobby is up and ready though, so we should get the game starting shortly. Words. English words. I'll take a drink, that might help me. Give me a sec. There we go. Lubricate the system. And the game is away. And indeed it is Mediterranean. Oh, interesting. Okay. So a little bit surprise for me here. And obviously it is minnows for Yeti, but Geo actually goes Egyptians here. So Geo saving the Yamato for the last map, which is Sahara, I believe. Maybe, what do I think about that? So water is in the middle. Mediterranean's a map in AOE2, Geo.
Long time, no siege.
I mean, yeah, Mediterranean's like a map in AOE2, Geo should know that. I don't know, don't know about that. But yeah, maybe... Why is the sound so loud now? Let me just deal with that a second. Okay, that's a little bit better. For some reason the sound just went really loud. Maybe he decided that even with Yamato, he was going to be at a civ disadvantage. Maybe just decided to save Yamato for the last map. But then again, I've got to question where Egyptians was really going to be used. Maybe he just thinks with the cheaper farm bonus to free up the wood, helps Egyptians in the water, but I think I'd argue there you'd probably just want to go Phoenicians for the faster woodworkers. Dock already down. Obviously Dock only costs 80 wood, like I said in the other game. Yeah, they're good later on, Billy, but they're a bit slow in the early game, is my only worry. I still think this is quite loud. I don't really know what's happened there. Oops, let's get us back up running. Because yeah, freeing up the wood from having the cheaper farms is nice, but I think, like I said, I'd just prefer Phoenicians if you want more wood. So obviously that kicks off right from the beginning of the game. And yeah, he's just got a few villagers on fish at the moment. I don't know where he's going. This is a storage pit. Oh, he's seen the elephants. Maybe he's going to grab that. Our storage pit here. Okay, that kind of makes sense. What can be the risk of storage pit here is if you lose control over the sea, you can get your wood line ranged by the scout ships at sea. That fish is very loud. I don't know why my sound's gone like... That's got to be critter volume, right? Fish are critters, right? No, fish are not critters. Sorry about this. Don't know why the sound's just like blowing my eardrums out. Oh well, we'll just deal with it. Oh, I know why. I know why. It's because I was hearing the actual game sounds. Sorry, I figured that out. Sometimes if I switch, I have to like switch into the regular game before switching to Capture Age, otherwise I can hear both games. That's what was doubling up there. Sorry about that. Yeah, Yeti is 2-1 down. Went for the all-in on the slingers on Hill Country last map, and it didn't really work out for him. Like I said, I think a little bit too slow to getting stone mining. And in the Shang versus Shang mirror on Highland, he just had a gap in his wall, and Geo Scouts got in. Come on, game. First dock out for Geo. Second dock for Yeti. And let's have a look. Villagers. And nobody's actually making villagers. 22... Excuse me. It's my lunch. Disagreeing with me. 22 vills for Geo. 18 for Yeti. So it's quite a few vills down, but he does have the fishing boats to sort of equalise that out. And second dock as well coming up for Geo. I think they clicked at about the same time. Just slightly ahead. Very similar, but slightly ahead for Geo. And Geo's like nowhere near the shoreline, other than obviously the docks. So, like his, like I said, his storage pit here is going to be completely safe. Whereas, potentially, if Miniyeti does lose the water, this wood line could be under a bit of danger. Granary going up now. And, yep, 6 fishing ships, and yeah, just Geo's just switching onto the fishing ships now. So it's actually going to probably be ahead on the eco count by the time Tool comes in by just a singular one, because yeah, he stopped the production of fishing ships. He's just banking a bit of wood to get those initial scout ships out and going. And there we go, Tool Age comes in. Small wall immediately in for Yeti. So he's going to just try and wall himself in and probably just play the water game, saying that there's no scout ships. There we go, in queue, there we go. 2 scout ships in queue for Geo. But remember, I think it's 35%, maybe 30% cheaper for Minnow. Oh, villager at the back, I didn't even spot that. But that's, yeah, Geo is going to spot that out, so maybe some shenanigans were afoot. It looks like, yeah, maybe he tried to sneak in I don't know, maybe a barracks at the back. Or maybe a range or something. Third dot comes up now. And he just walls in his wood eco. Leaves the rest of his base reasonably open. And the first scout ships come out. So the battle in the sea begins. Egyptians have no water bonuses. They have a decent... like they get access to the Juggernaut and stuff, and other trireme obviously. But that's only really relevant in the late game. The main bonus here is that Minnow's ships are just much cheaper. So Geo needs to get very, very good trades to win out on the water here. You can see Yeti just microing back and forth. Maybe just takes that one back just to go repair it. But already the scout ship mass going in favour of Yeti. Yeah, Minnow's just very, very hard to contend with on the water maps. Yeah, Geo's doing a decent job. A little pause. Not sure what the pause is about. Alright, kitchens. Hotkeys for Geo, he says. This is the issue. And I'm just going to check the Discord actually, because I know I'm going to be streaming a game straight after this. Oh, I need to actually get the correct screen up. Ooh. Just while we're paused here. Next game is going to be Sky and Red Lash, which I think is group... What group is Sky and Red Lash? Is Group B?
Yes.
And it's Group A. Okay, so the pause is out. I don't know exactly what his issue with the hotkeys was. Geo trying to pick off this last ship. He's not actually going to get it out. 6 scout ships for 2 now. And Geo's still not even going for the farms yet, as he still has his hunt left. So still not really taking any advantage of the Egyptians' bonuses. Like I said, again, without wanting to repeat myself too much, I feel like Phoenicians might have been a better pick, or maybe Persians for faster attacking ships. But again, it's always going to be a struggle into Minnow. And club is out from Yeti. I guess they came all the way from home. And you're maybe just trying to snipe the fish eco. But Yeti more than ready for this. And yeah, Geo lost all of his eco as well. Fish eco. But saying that, his villager count's pretty strong though. 5 vills up. Well, he doesn't have any currently in queue. Looks like he's trying to go for Bronze Age, which doesn't have the second building yet. Just get. Oh, he doesn't have a barracks yet. That's always a mistake that you don't want to make. And yeah, ooh, he still needs another building. There we go, stable. A little bit of a fumble there by Geo, as he maybe should have just kept making a few villages in that time instead of waiting. But yeah, you've got to say that the water is firmly in control of Yeti on the Minoans, as was probably expected. But Geo just focusing on the land eco now, up to the Bronze Age. And Yeti's still sort of maybe, I was going to say, overcommitting, but he's now actually going for the fishing ships. Geo just GG's out. And so we go, okay, we go to the final game. I feel like, I feel like Geo still probably could have done something this game, as he had the Bronze Age advantage. Yeah, he's lost the water, but you could still try and play for the land here. I guess maybe you just saw his score and figured that Yeti was like probably on the same vill count as he was. I mean, I think the land's big enough here that it's not just an auto loss. Obviously, the fishing on the sea is decent, obviously. But like, yeah, he's nowhere near the bronze. And Geo is literally about to hit bronze. Yeah, but he's already in the Bronze Age, so I don't know what you're on about food loss. He's ahead on food. Like, obviously this, I think that's 800 of that should be the tech, so he's only actually on 300 food. I mean, it's 300 food, Billy. There's not 0. I don't think Geo had lost it. Like, it was going to be hard for him, because obviously this is all walled up, but like a few chariot archers in the back here, and he loses all that wood line. Yeah, he's got 300 wood. Food. And Miniyeti's nowhere near bronze. Like, Yeti's only on 134 food, and he's still in tool age. So I'm not really sure what you're talking about, Billy. Anyway, we're going to game 5. I think in that specific situation the game wasn't over, and I will leave it at that, Billy. And I'm going to restart Capture Age again, because it's just doing the stupid sound bug. So, we are going to go the full distance, like I said. So the last map is going to be Sahara. And the leftover civs are Cimmerians and Yamato. And again, I'm slightly questioning the Cimmerians pick still. So I think actually I'd prefer the Yamato here out of the two civs. If Yeti can bring the game to the Bronze Age, the Cimmerians can be strong. There was solid land, Billy. There was literally solid land. No, you can't shoot that far. You've gone mad, Billy. I mean, can we get the replay? Have I got the replay back up? Yeah, I can get the replay of Capture Age. I think Billy needs his eyes testing. You can't range that from the city. That's impossible. Like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You need like 20 range to range that. Like, what are you on about, Billy? Geo was in a much better position than he thought he was. That's all I'm saying. I think he just went. He got, I think it was just because he was behind on score, he probably thought Yeti was on the same villages and probably close to Bronze Age. But I think Geo himself will look back on this game. I think you maybe need to actually play the game a bit more, Billy, again, because your brain seems a little bit addled. Wall back trees. Just wall the back trees. Just do it, man. Just instantly get the walls up. Oh, you're a funny guy, Billy. You really are. Anyway, sorry. We'll actually focus on the actual game that we're going to be casting. Sorry for getting distracted there by the village jester that is Billy. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say to you, Billy. I agree that the water control is important, but in that situation, Geo was like, it was going to take forever for Yeti to get to the Bronze Age. Well, in that case, you might need to play 100,000 more, my friend, because your calls are not the correct ones. And God help you if that you can't figure it out after that many games. Anyway, sorry. Getting a little bit off kilter here. Geo, like I said, on the Yamato, which I favour quite a lot. I'm still not really sure about the Sumerian pick for Yeti here. Sumerians, their bonuses... Ooh, is he going to lose a villager there? No. Their bonus, they obviously get the higher HP villagers, which doesn't tend to often be that significant of a bonus. But then the other bonuses are the higher HP on stone throwers and the... the longer lasting farms. Or is it faster firing stone throwers? I can't remember now. I'm not trying to insult you, Billy. I'm saying you're wrong. But anyway, that's rich coming from you saying about the bullet insulting anyway, as per. We'll get you Jester's hat for your next birthday though, don't worry about it. Okay, to focus on the game. Yeah, you're going for 19 villagers up. And Geo just... Is he going for fast bronze here? He's going for an extra couple of villagers. He's waiting now, it's on 22. He's adding the extra villager there, so maybe it is the fast bronze. Maybe he just thinks against Sumerians. Do you want to take it against... Curious. Very curious play. Storage pit is next to the stone as well, so he does have that option. 2 elephants in the hand. Barracks, somewhat defensive. And again, barracks at home for Geo. So it's going to be interesting to see how Yeti actually wants to play this out. Like I said, Sumerian's much more of a Bronze Age civ. And... yeah, Yamato... Oh, he cancelled that villager. Okay, it's 22 villagers. Berries do run out. Does have the elephants left, so he should be alright as long as he sees those idols pretty quick. I think he's focusing on the gazelle at the moment. He needs to sort those villagers out. I'm not sure, maybe this tool age maybe surprises Geo a bit. He does have a couple of clubs ready to receive. Wall's going up for Yeti. Okay, so Yeti's just going to be playing the long game. You have to do a lot of work to wall up on Sahara though. But Geo only just hitting tool age now. Going for stable. So that could be pretty good. With the mobility, might be able to punish the open spaces here. And he's definitely going to need to start gathering some stone if he wants to wall the entire map here, because it's a long way to go with the walls. Mark it at the back. And what is Geo's... No, he doesn't have enough. So yeah, it's just going for the scout play with Yamato. Obviously, cheaper stables and cheaper scouts for Yamato. So definitely one of the civs that can go for that strategy. Bowman forward here. Going to spot each other. And this clubber should go down. Crocodile getting involved with the action. Stable as well for Miniyeti. And Miniyeti's got idle TC time though. A minute under idle TC. Oh, he's just stalling to go to the bronze. And I think he is going to get these walls up, you know. So the early scouts, not really going to be much of any effect. And the singular bowman just sort of thrown a bit of a distraction. I don't know where his other bow is actually. Is it at home? Just in the archery range here. Okay, so that was a little bit of a curious play from both players. 22 vils up for Geo, and he's going for the tool. And 19 vils for Yeti, but he's going for bronze. Flipping the script a little bit. Geo's going to see the walls already up, and he's going to see the gold miners as well, which that should be giving him red flags for Geo right now, because the only reason you go gold is if you're trying to get ready for a unit in the Bronze Age, because obviously no units cost gold. I thought that was open for a second then. I just had to take a moment to brace myself. Yeah, nothing costs gold before Bronze Age in AOE1. So is it just going to be the camels? Is that the other Sumerian thing? They get extra pierce armor on camels. I think that's one of the Sumerian bonuses as well. And Geo, yeah, he's stopped making military, and he's just pumping vils. So he has 10 vils ahead, but obviously a lot of that's going to be the idle time from the Bronze Age. So yeah, he will catch up a little bit. And it is the camels. They're going to deal pretty easily with these early scouts for Geo. In fact, yeah, even when Geo gets to bronze, the Sumerian scouts, the Sumerian camels are going to be a little bit challenging for the Yamato cavalry even to deal with, because obviously their cavalry line is cheaper as well. And yeah, I guess we're just, at this point, he's still committing to the scouts. I think this is not the play from Geo. Miniyeti not paying attention here. It doesn't have any of the storage pit upgrades. It's a little bit pinched for resources at the moment. I think the camels would still pretty handily... Oh, you got camels, says Geo. Maybe that's just a little bit of lack of tech tree knowledge for Geo there. But yeah, the tool age storage pit techs would be nice from Yeti here, just to strengthen these camels a little bit. He's, like I said, a little bit pinched for resources at the moment. That's one of the things about trying to go for a fast bronze. 40 vils for Geo, slowly building up the food stacks to try and get to bronze. So now it's just kind of a question of how much damage Yeti can do to Geo with the Bronze Age advantage. It's still no storage pit tax. He just needs to get a few more farms down. He's floating 300 wood, so probably needs to try and switch some over. And there we go, finally tool working coming in. I think would have maybe preferred to see the cavalry armor upgrade first, but whatever. One of them's good. Like I said, most of the scouts have already been dealt with now. Camels do come in. And yeah, +2 armor would have been a bit more useful here to just maybe prevent the villagers from fighting back a little bit. Geo, again, reacting quite well to the pressure. Scout's going to take down this house, but it is walled here, so that's going to be fine. And I think Geo, unfortunately, his bronze is on the way. Still 10 villagers up. And yeah, just Geo kind of on the ropes now, though. doesn't really have a unit that can really deal with this. I guess maybe it had axes, but axes can't keep up with the movement speed of the camels. Mate, I think, yeah, you should probably just trying to actually chase villagers instead of killing the TC hit. Because he's not going to be able to kill this before bronze comes in. He's sort of scouting with this camel here. What does he see? Okay, he doesn't see the wood line on this side yet. Probably going to split it now, though. Still only the... Oh no, did get the +2 armor as well. And bows, yeah, +1 pierce. Yeah, it's the Sumerians that get +1 pierce armor, so they're actually going to probably deal quite handily with the bowman as well. And I think, unfortunately, for Geo, I said the Sumerians wasn't the pick, but yet he had a plan. And it looks like he's executed pretty well here. He managed to get up these titanic walls. And yeah, villa count, GG well walled. Yeah. Oh, I nearly gave that to Geo. And in the end, 3-2 to Miniyeti. And that was pretty back and forth series. And yeah, Geo trying to play to the scout advantage that Yamato have. But when the walls are already up, the scouts not really going to be able to do much, and then the camels are just the perfect counter. Geo did get to the excuse me, did get to the Bronze Age this time, but just couldn't do anything when he got there. And I think that was a much closer series than probably a lot of people would guess. I did think Geo would take at least one game. I wasn't sure if he could take two. Again, a very nice, solid performance from him. And I'm pretty sure he is through. So I think he's 2-2 now. So I think he will be the third seed of the group. Actually, no, that depends on how well Vertex does, because there's a lot of games that Vertex hasn't played yet. But there we go. So we do have another series to get us straight into. So I'll hopefully try and sort us out for that real quick. I don't know if they've started playing, actually.